Welcome back to another Sun and Moon Lost Thunder video. Today we're going to be featuring the 8th seed Psychic Malamar versus the 25th seed Tapu Koko Poison. Just on a side note on the hand cams, this one we got flipped around who was doing what. So I think the hand cams are perfectly backwards. So you're going to be seeing whoever's hand is not going. It was a little mistake that we all made. It's alright, we're moving past it. I am playing the Tapu Koko Poison deck this round for first. And Primetime Wizard playing the Psychic Malamar first. Psychic Malamar is a Malamar variant that focuses on only psychic energies. So it doesn't rely on any sort of DCE or unit energies or anything like that. Whereas Tapu Koko Poison is a spread deck, but it gets aided by poison damage now and Kukuis, because Koko on its own doesn't do a whole lot of damage to the active, so you're not dealing with a lot of threats. But using Poison Barb and Koko, you can start to rack up that damage pretty quickly. Normally Koko was just in there for some free retreat. Maybe you do 20 to everything. There are spread variants, but this one, instead of having some sort of big hitting backup attacker, you have Poison Barb to deal the extra damage. So Psychic Malamar is going to aim to not go wide. You're not going to play too many Pokemon down, maybe just one or two Malamars, kind of dance around certain things. This Invasion Dawnwings Necrozma is going to be pretty big, because you can get rid of the poison by invasion and then switching. You're going to do shenanigans that way. And not wanting to bench too much Pokemon when you think you're going to get knocked out with a whole bunch of things. That's when you bench another Pokemon. Acrobike is played as Acrobike, not Trekking Shoes. But that's basically how this game's going to work. So turn 1 setup from the Koko is pretty good. This is really what you want from the Koko, right? You want your both your Vipers down. You want your Kokos, your DCEs. The hand on the Koko side is not that great. Like I said, we're going to be looking at the opposite side because we're perfectly backwards. I mean, the other thing is on the side of Malamar, that's kind of what you want. You kind of want just like 1 or 2 Inkays down and energy on the Dawnwings, and don't go much wider than that. So we see the turn being shipped over. The Shrine of Punishment, another source of damage from Koko. Oh boy, and this is all we're going to see from the side of Koko is just a stadium and spread. This Psychic Malamar list doesn't play a way to bounce the stadium. So, oh man, both Malamars getting evolved right away. That's exactly what Malamar wants to see. Malamar's not really known as a consistent deck. Ooh, and the switch. Oh my gosh, we're getting the perfect turn here. 2 psychic recharges to the Dawnwings Necrozma. The invasion will make it come back in and just take a turn 2 knockout. With most spread decks, it's just a race against time. You know that they're going to get their spreads off, and spreads are going to, slowly tick up the damage. But if you keep juggling your bench spaces and manage what's on board, then you should be fine against a lot of spread matchups. Oh, and a Cynthia to boot even. So the Cynthia being the more consistent choice here. The Koko not being able to find some of those. It was a little bit of a misplay. We talked about it after the game went over. Was that there was a Pokegear played and put a Cynthia back on top, but then I elected to play a Nest Ball and Shuffle. So there could have been a Cynthia in the hand this last turn if sequencing was played correctly. So a little bit of a misplay on Koko Spread's part. We determined it probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal anyway. So spread is 2040, then 2040 with the Shrine ticks. So all of this making a lot of sense here, but not a lot of stuff in this hand. I think I saw it was a Guzma and just another knockout here. It was a Guzma and an Energy Lotto. What seems to be the top deck? It's an Acrobike top 2. Ooh, it's a Mimikyu and a Latios. The Mimikyu is going to get a knockout if we can find one of those counter energies. No counter energy. Mimikyu would have done the trick though. But instead, just a Rainbow Energy. It's the one of Rainbow Energy. The deck plays 4 double colors, 4 counter, and 1 Rainbow Energy. The Rainbow Energy will at least filch to be able to draw some cards here. Maybe to get Tapu Koko out of this situation, but no, the Shrine Tick is the only thing. We do see it grabbed a Cynthia and a DCE. But outside of that, this filch is going to go down, and it might just be another draw and attack. We're just figuring out if Malamar can get knocked back out. We know the Giratina's in the discard pile. We know there's... I don't know if there's enough Psychics over there. There should be. Yeah, the Giratina is going to hit this turn. We were discussing if it was going to be a turn early or not, but I think it's fine to do it now. Get this backup attacker online. You know the Koko didn't hit the spread last turn, right? The best that Koko did last turn was attach and draw 2. So you know this Tina is safe from taking 20 damage, at the very least. And so yeah, here's another 120 damage. The Shrine ticks back up, and a draw. Now's where you could start thinking about some... Yeah, so the Latios shenanigans are going to happen. Malamar is weak to Psychic, so we're going to see a Guzma DCE. Grip the Cynthia for next turn. You're going to take at least one of these Malamars, and you want to put probably the 30. Yeah, the 30 is going to go back onto the Malamar down there because it puts it down to 20 HP left, which is in range of a Koko. The problem is, sure, you can take the Malamars, but there are 2 big boys just swinging with energies on. Very, very simple counter tactic here. Is just not benching a lot. You just don't go wide. Against spread decks, you just don't go wide, and what damage can they do? Especially considering that Poison Barb also has not found the way into the hand. Deck relies so heavily on that Poison Barb attachment. Both Sir Vipers find the bench turn 1, but no Poison Barb past that. Malamar player just looking to attach a Psychic Energy, and the Shrine Tick and a knockout. So the Koko is going to go back up into the active. Primetime Wizard hiding his hand a little bit. Let's see. Sir Viper goes up. That means there's going to be some sort of... Yeah, there's going to be escape rope shenanigans. It really doesn't matter. Like, if anything, like, you know that the Malamar might be knocked out. But, see, so here's why you do it, though, is that the escape rope puts the Malamar in the active. Sure, if it gets knocked out, you have whatever you want in the active. And you don't have to burn energies to retreat. But if you miss... Malamar's stuck in the active, but you have invasion anyway. So the escape rope really doesn't matter. It's really there to thin. Normally it would be like a great play here, but you're really just using it to thin. There's the counter energy. I saw it flash on screen. Again, hand cams are backwards for this match. We kind of goofed on the technical side of things, but that's all right. We're learning. We're getting there. We're all in this together. Nest Ball coming down. Probably going to find another Koko for a pivot, or at least a... Latios, so you can deal some meaningful damage next turn. Hard telling. Yeah, it's going to be the Latios. Maybe Koko in the hand, maybe, or out of Kokos. Because you kind of want that free retreat pivot for when the Koko goes down. And now it's just to decide where this double rainbow energy is going. This counter energy is going down somewhere. I think the math, we're counting up the math, maybe a different play is coming out this turn. We're counting up the math. Shrine ticks. We know Shrine's going to stick. I don't think there's a counter stadium or a blower in the Malamar's deck. What are we eyeballing up? And it's going to be the Lele, the psychic move Lele. You can move all the damage counters on their side of the field any way you want. And we're going to get some tricky math here. So we have 200 damage to play with. 100 of it's going to go onto the Tina. And the other 100 of it is probably going to go on the Dawnwings Necrozma and leave the Malamar fine. The Malamar's not the threat here, right? The Malamar can accelerate energy, sure, but it is really not the threat. Shrine Tick goes up, puts it at 110. The math might be correct to where the Latios is going to be able to take some knockouts here. You definitely put the 30 on the Giratina, because the 30 on the Giratina makes it snipeable with the Latios. You're really tipping your hand saying, I'm going to do the Latios instead. You probably need the 100 damage, so it's 110, 120. So after this turn, the Dawnwings is going to be at 60 HP left. If you hit it with the Latios, it goes down to 30. Shrine takes it down to 20. It will guarantee the knockout going back into Dawnwings Necrozma's turn in 2 turns. So that's where the math comes in on this Dawnwings Necrozma, getting around the fact that Tapu Koko Poison just can't seem to draw into its energies. And I'm looking at the hand there. There are 2 Shrines of Punishment stuck in the Koko's hand as well. We do see the Mars Shadow being eyeballed. I don't know if it's going to be played. We'll have to see. Nope, there's a big 160 HP Pokemon. That's going to be so hard to deal with. Malamar's going to go ahead and accelerate to it. You're going to see the Dawnwings come back into the active. And a Cynthia. So the Mars Shadow was just to thin some cards out of the deck. The Latios or the Lunala is really the reason that you're going to get this Pokemon out. Like, going to win this game. You don't really care about Malamars at this point. You have 2 prizes left. You have 2 attackers. So we'll see. Dawn Wings takes the knockout. Shrine ticks back up. So 60 HP left. Oh, there's a Kukui. It's a Kukui in the hand. Oh, this math actually turns out to be pretty huge. This needs to hit an energy. Oh, there's the counter energy right there. Oh, there's actually double colors and a counter. So you know that next turn you're going to be fine. Let's see. Kukui is going to do 40. Oh, no. Yeah, the Latios. The Latios is actually going to do it here, right? 30 plus Kukui plus Shrine is 60 damage is knockout. That is 3 prizes. This game just gets close all of a sudden. There are 2 energies onto the Lunala, so a switch energy actually gets you there for game. But if you don't, this game is a little closer than one anticipates. So there is a Malamar second recharge. Are we going to see another attachment for game? Maybe you need attach Guzma, attach switch. But if not, all of a sudden Koko poisons in on it. Oh, but there's the Guzma. And, oh, that might be it. That actually might be it. We're counting up all the energies in the discard pile. There's 4 there. It is going to be just the attack. Oh my gosh, look at all this. All these energies. How do you ever stop this? That actually might be the writing on the wall. Accelerates all the energies to yourself. You have a way to retreat. Nothing to boss stall. Nothing to hit this Lunala for significant damage. If you had some sort of dark attacker. Lele's first attack does do energy damage for every energy on the active, but that's only going to deal 100. Yeah, I'm pointing that out right now. Even with Kukui, you're not going to get there. Kukui in the hand, too. I don't know if this is going to actually be it, right? You have the counter energy. Kukui. Ooh, we were saying if you were weak to Psychic, Latios' second attack does it. But that is just going to be the scoop it up. Psychic Malamar taking game 1. With Koko Poison, you just can't go... You just don't go wide and you're fine. That's really it. So that's what we're going to see game 1. There was some tricky math there. And that's why the deck plays 2 of those Lele's. The poison damage really stacks up. So Lele is more important in the Koko spread deck than it is, let's say, Passimian, for instance. Or Malamar spread, where you have other backup attacking options. Right? Malamar spread can get into Giratina loops, and Passimian can go into Passimian or any of the backup attackers in that deck, like Shaman, or, I mean, your own Latios, I suppose, but, like, they have other options. Whereas Koko spread doesn't really have a lot of other options. So you need both Lele's in there to create tricky poison numbers. Poison allows you to pin something in the active and it getting knocked out coming back into your own turn. So if you set up cool plays like that, you can win games that are probably not winnable to begin with. And we see the Dawn Wings Necrozma being started again for the Malamar. And a Latios start for the Koko spread. Acrobike's going to pitch a Pokénav. Not a lot of turn 1 setup needed on... Ooh, double Nest Ball. Double Nest Ball coming out. You don't need a lot of setup for Latios. You want to try to get probably one of the Survivors down at some point to help with the numbers for poison. But outside of that, you don't need a whole lot of setup. There's the Oranguru we didn't see game 1. Game 1, it must have been prized, because otherwise you would have searched it out. But like I said, the Pokénav Kukui play kind of made Koko Poison fall a little bit behind. Even though it did go down to 2 prizes, you really saw it struggle with not being able to draw some cards there at the mid game. So we'll see if it's more capable this game. You're starting off fine. You're playing all your Acrobikes. You're getting your energy. You have your Guru down. This is kind of the start you want. Flashing the Nest Ball. Yeah, this is likely to go for either a Survivor or a Koko. Probably a Survivor, you'd imagine. I don't think Koko necessarily is the right play here. It gives you a second pivot in case you get bossed, but yeah, you're not getting boss KO turn 2. Or turn 1, rather. So yeah, Survivor here the better option. And a DC on the Latios, so you have some sort of pivot and retreat. And over to the Psychic Malamar player. Let's see that hand. The hand for Koko's fine. You have an Escape Rope and a Kukui. But an Ultra Ball pitching a Lily, so you know that there's probably another Lily in that hand. It's a Mysterious Treasure and an Ultra Ball. So an energy in the discard, you're Ultra Balling away a supporter that's likely dead turn 1 because you have another Lily. And and a Choice Band. Oh, and a Malamar in the hand too. Bunch of energies. Acrobike pitching an energy. Acrobike pitching another energy. Woof. And a switch in the hand to boot. And we know there's a Malamar. So turn 2, this Necrozma is going to be able to get an attack off. Wow, what an explosive start. And like that's exactly what Malamar needs here. You need some Inkays down. You need to get into your Malamars early. The clunkiness of the deck can come out every so often. The Escape Rope here, not going to hurt too much because you have the Invasion on the Dome Wings Necrozma. Yeah, that hand is just gas for Malamar. And there's the first Poison Barb we see of the matchup. The Poison Barb, when you get attacked, poisons your active Pokemon. Like I said, it helps stack up that damage. 1 Survivor down, so that's an extra 20 damage a turn in theory, right? Because you get Poison Barbed, and you take 10 between turns, 10 going back. The Survivor makes you do 10 more, so even 40 more damage if you don't retreat. But there's the Evolve, there's the Attach. Choice Band is just to pitch it. Lily for a couple cards. We're going to see the Psychic Malamar Recharge. It's saving the switch. I think that is the right play here. You save the... Ooh. We actually see the GX move here, so you're not going to get damage back again. Right? Likely to be even prizes for either most of the game or part of the game, so using the GX stack to save some damage on the Dawn Wings is going to be a good play. The switch in hand is also nice because you can switch Invasion out of Poison, and it's going to save 20 damage. So keep that in mind that this GX move plus the switch in hand is going to save likely 50 to 70 damage worth. Because you're going to save Poison Tick next turn. You're going to save whatever damage that Latios probably did this turn. And there was the Kukui. See, yeah, you were going to save a lot of damage by doing this GX move. And there's the retreat into the Koko. Now, forgetting about the switch Invasion play, Inkay down. Pretty good move here to get another recharge out. Psychic recharging to the Malamar, attaching to the Malamar. And there's going to be the switch Invasion to save 20 damage worth of damage. So like I said, if that GX and the GX and the switch Invasion play wasn't here, with the Kukui, you're saving 70. This Dawn Wings would have 140 poison. It would have been knocked out. They would have had 140 poison going back in, 160, and that is a Koko spread away. Or even Guzma Latios. Yeah, the play where you are GX attack and switch Invasion, save this Dawn Wings from going down, and likely the Inkay on the bench because the Latios finds another energy and gets a Guzma down or something, right? But regardless, we actually do see the return KO here. The return KO from the Mimikyu, which did not happen game 1 because of the Rainbow energy, but you get return KO. These counter energies not being live, but you save some of the DCEs for later in the game, so you probably won't have any trickery with Tapu Lele. But at the very least, you got the big threat off the board, even with all the shenanigans. So it ended up not mattering that GX attack. Wow. Mimikyu being able to swing big here, putting a little bit of pressure on Psychic Malamar. Mimikyu having 70 HP and not being weak to Psychic. So this Malamar doesn't return KO. But it's an Inkay down, attach, and a Cynthia. Yeah, we are going to see a 60 damage from this Malamar, putting down Mimikyu to 10 damage left. Now, if you know anything about Malamar decks, they all run Giratina. And Giratina says when you come back from the bench, or from the discard to the bench, you place 10 wherever you want on 2 bench Pokemon. So you might be able to finish off this Giratina later in the game. And that's one of the strategies against these counter energy decks. If you can keep their counter energies turned off and play this nice balancing act game, you can prevent them from ever going into stuff like Lele. The promo Lele being able to move damage counters around you might be able to prevent that from ever happening by saving a knockout on the Mimikyu. The Mimikyu can be taken whenever. You don't really worry about going down to... Because, like, counter energy decks don't want to ever go down to 1-1 prizes because of that. So, yeah, you're going to see 60 damage falling down this Mimikyu. It's got 10 HP left. A Giratina will take it out at some point in the game. So you can kind of play this balancing game. Counter energy decks, like I said, want to stay at 2 prizes. They don't ever want to go down to 1 prize because then their counter energy is always turned off. So if you can keep it 2-2 in prizes, counter energy stays alive. Or stays dead, rather. Right. Counter energy not being able to be used in those scenarios. And this Mimikyu sure can hit back for 60 for knockout, right? Like, but the counter energy, like I said, is turned off, so it actually can't. The double colorless energy on the Koko just signals that it's going to be a retreat and a flip. Now, if you had dug for the rainbow energy here, the rainbow energy actually doesn't even do it either. Right? Because rainbow energy knocks out Mimikyu. So yeah, the rainbow energy wouldn't have done it either. There's no way to return knockout on this Malamar without some shenanigans. See a nest ball coming down. Question is, what for? You're going to get poisoned. Is there a way that you can take the Koko without putting anything else in jeopardy? Intricate little series here. And we are going to see the Giratina early. Or we're not? The question is, do you have enough? I think the debate here is, like, can you knock out Giratina on its own? Because Giratina places 4 damage counters anywhere you want on your Pokemon you knock out. Maybe we're seeing a Guzma this turn and accelerating to the Lunala. That might be the play. Yeah, we're seeing it attached to the Lunala. Maybe we're going to see double Psychic Recharge and a Guzma. No, we're going to see a Cynthia. Wow. What is the plan here? I think if you were Psychic Malamar, you would have really liked to see a Guzma to take out either the Survivor or the Latios, but it's 110 HP Koko. Oh, but there's 3 energies in the discard pile now, and you're gonna see the knockout. You're gonna see a triple energy acceleration, or Psychic Recharge rather, to this Lunala. Yeah, the Lunala's gonna be able to take the knockout here easily, handedly. Wow! Out of nowhere, Lunala comes down and just swings, getting double poisoned in the process. Wow! Yeah, that's it. Counter energy still being turned off. The Mimikyu play on the Dawn Wings of Necrozma proved to be a little bit too aggressive because you're turning out for counter energies for so many turns. So, but the double is still there, right? The doubles are still alive. You didn't commit too many doubles. This flying flip here. And this is exactly what I was talking about. You're keeping your counter energies turned off for the entire game. Pretty much, right? Your counter energies are only going to be alive this next turn. Because Lunala takes a knockout, but that Mimikyu is just sitting there. Oh, and there's the Acrobike into the Giratina. Oh, you can put this game to bed at this point. Because there's 2 energies onto the Malamar, another energy there. So you're always going to be a Guzma, a Switch Retreat. Oh, to get rid of the poison. Yep. You're always going to be a Guzma away from taking 2 knockouts. And that's probably what's going to happen, right? Like, you could even Giratina this turn, right? You Giratina this turn, take a knockout, and your opponent doesn't have enough damage on board to actually take a knockout. Lele not going to be benched. You don't want them to ever have this opportunity to take 3. Yeah, I think the Giratina this turn would have been right. We talked a little bit about it. I think we end up saying he'll yeah. So I think we just talk about checkmate here. I have no way to, this is just going to be talking about checkmate. Because if you Tina this turn, you have no way to get rid of the Lele in the hand for the Guzma for game. You have no way to knock out the Lunala because of counter energy. I think that's what we were talking about. Is that this game is actually straight up just over. because I have the Lele for Guzma, so it doesn't really matter when the Tina hits the board, because like if your opponent just passes, you're going to pass back into them until you draw the Guzma. Right? Koko spread can't come up and ever actually deal with all of the threats, and that Mimikyu is always just a sitting duck, and the Mimikyu is never going to be able to attack. You can counter energy. Oh, see, there's the thing. You return counter energy, return knockout, but we know that the Lele is in hand for Guzma. Right? So you go Lele for Guzma, for Malamar, and then there's the Tina for double knockout and game. So that's going to do it. Psychic Malamar takes the 2-0 victory over Koko Poison in a very intricate matchup, but really, I don't ever think Psychic Malamar was ever in issue and ever in trouble. So, Psychic Malamar moving on the 8th seed, moving on to the round of 16. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next video.